The government has said there must be an unprecedented solution for the border between Northern Ireland and the Republic after Brexit. A position paper detailing its proposals stresses the need to avoid a hard border. The government says there should be no physical infrastructure, such as customs posts, at the border. It also does not envisage CCTV cameras or number plate recognition technology at the border or set back from it. Instead, the government is arguing for a wide-ranging exemption under which small and medium-sized enterprises will not have to comply with any new customs tariffs. Northern Ireland is the only part of the UK that will share a land border with an EU member state post-Brexit. The future management of that border is a highly sensitive issue and is one of three main priorities in UK-EU Brexit negotiations. Northern Ireland office officials say that 80% of firms in Northern Ireland are small or medium-sized and they are engaged in local business, not international trade. If the proposals are accepted, customs officials envisage using a mix of technology and physical checks to monitor the compliance of bigger businesses which are engaging in international trade. Such firms might be required to declare their import and export businesses online at regular intervals. The government has repeated its desire to maintain the common travel area and the rights of UK and Irish citizens, and to uphold the 1998 Good Friday Agreement. Prime Minister Theresa May said she wanted to reassure nationalists living in Northern Ireland. No one voted to end the special ties between the UK and Ireland or to undermine unique arrangements between Ireland and Northern Ireland which have underpinned the peace process and have been in place well before our membership of the EU, she said. Brexit critics have complained that the UK's proposals lack credible detail on how that aim could be achieved. Responding to the government paper, a spokeswoman for the European Commission said, "We must discuss how to maintain the common travel area and protect, in all of its dimensions, the Good Friday Agreement, of which the UK is a co-guarantor. It is essential that we have a political discussion on this before looking at technical solutions." The position paper forms part of the government's negotiations with the European Union, ahead of the UK leaving the EU in March 2019. As revealed on Tuesday, Brexit Secretary David Davis wants a limited transition period to implement any new customs arrangements, including considerations relating to the unique circumstances of Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. Both the UK and Irish governments have repeatedly stated their opposition to a hard border, but the situation is complicated as the UK intends to leave the EU's customs union. The position paper sets out two broad approaches to future customs arrangements that the UK hopes will help to prevent physical customs posts along the Irish border. The suggestions are a new customs partnership or a highly streamlined customs arrangement. The partnership model would align customs approaches between the UK and the EU, resulting in no customs border at all between the UK and Ireland, the paper claims. The paper suggests the second, highly streamlined arrangement could include. The paper also dismisses the idea of a customs border in the Irish Sea, saying it would be economically and constitutionally unviable. It recognizes that all this needs to be negotiated with the EU, in the hope that the border between the EU and the UK will be as seamless as possible. Northern Ireland Secretary James Brokenshire said he did not accept that the EU would be unwilling to facilitate the government's proposals. If you look at what EU chief negotiator Michel Barnier has said and others within the EU, there is a recognition that there will need to be specific arrangements in relation to customs and other elements in terms of creating that frictionless border, he said. "I think there is a shared objective that we have, that the EU has and the Irish government has, in finding that solution." An Irish government spokesperson welcomed the position paper as timely and helpful as it offers more clarity on the UK strategy. However, they warned, protecting the peace process is crucial and it must not become a bargaining chip in the negotiations. The spokesperson said leaders in Dublin would analyse the ideas in detail and discuss them with the European Commission and the EU's Mr Barnier. Campaigners who oppose Brexit say the reintroduction of a so-called hard border would severely damage the Northern Ireland peace process and have a negative economic impact. Northern Ireland's former First Minister DUP leader Arlene Foster said the position paper was a constructive step. "It is clear the government has listened to voices in Belfast, Dublin, Brussels and London about how the United Kingdom's only EU land border could be managed after we exit the EU, she said. However, Sinn Féin Northern leader Michelle O'Neill said that Northern Ireland was a fleeting concern for the British government. "We are collateral damage." She added, "What we need to see is the Irish government acting in the national interest and defending the rights of those people here in the north that voted to stay with the European Union." Labour MP Conor McGinn, who grew up in Northern Ireland, accused the government of vagueness and posturing. "These proposals on a light touch border are lighter still on detail," he said. "They don't outline how a frictionless or seamless border can be achieved when the UK leaves the EU and won't reassure anybody about the impact of Brexit on Northern Ireland." Colm Eastwood, leader of the Social Democratic and Labour Party, SDLP, said the government seemed to be effectively playing for more time. "The British government is still not ready, or at least unwilling, to publish serious or credible proposals on Brexit," he said. The Ulster Unionist Party's Steve Aiken said, "The position of the government on achieving an as seamless as possible transition from the current European Union relationship between the UK and the Republic of Ireland is to be welcomed." Countries in the customs union do not impose tariffs, taxes on imports, on each other's goods. Every country inside the union levies the same tariffs on imports from abroad. So, for example, a 10% tariff is imposed on some cars imported from outside the customs union, while 7.5% is imposed on roasted coffee. Other goods, such as soap or slate, have no tariffs. The UK has said it is leaving the EU's customs union because as a member it is unable to strike trade deals with other countries. What do you think about this news? Scroll down and comment. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Goodbye and see you again.